Hi guys, it is Amelia from Amelia's Hells, and today I'm going to show you how I package breakable items, figurines, whatever, just breakable stuff. I've got a few questions, not a whole lot, on some of my live streams to do a video about how I ship breakable things. I'm sure there's tons of videos out there already, but I thought I'd make one to show you how I do it. So this is what I got today. This isn't listed. It still needs clean. It's just truthfully one of the closest things to me that was breakable. It is a planter. I do like to sell a lot of vintage Japan figurines, made in Japan figurines and just vintage figurines. So I was going to show you how to ship this. Now, you can either use brand new boxes or used boxes. It's up to you. I do both. Sometimes I have new boxes. These are both. This one's been previously used for inventory, but it is a new eBay box. It's just I used it for something else and decided it wasn't a good fit upon shipping. So you want to have plenty of boxes available. I do, like I said, I do use boxes or ones from stores and stuff, but these I actually have new. And I was going to show you how I decide what box would be best. Now, this will fit in this box, but when it's breakable, you want there to be quite a bit of room on all the sides, and there's just not that quite, I don't know if you guys see that, quite enough room on either side, on the top and the bottom of the item. On the sides, there's plenty of room. So I probably would not use this box because I don't want it to get crushed and crushed and broke. This box is a little higher. It's about the same size on the, this way. But there's plenty of room for it. I like to have almost an inch around the item. And this is pretty close to that. Maybe a little less on some parts of it, but pretty close. So, this is the box I'm going to be using. So I'm going to go ahead and tape it up. The bottom up real quick. And set it to the side. Now, when I'm doing vintage figurines, this one doesn't have acrylic paint on it, but a lot of these vintage figurines I like to sell do. And I've had, off of like a vintage item before, I've had bubble wrap peel the paint off because I do pre-pack, so it sits on there for a while. So I always wrap my items in a soft, thin, my figurines and stuff with paint on them, a soft, thin piece of tissue paper to kind of put a barrier. You want it to be pretty thin for don't scratch the paint. And I like to use white because I don't want tissue paper is usually dyed. The colored stuff is, and if it gets wet, it could dye your item. So I always use clear tape to secure bubble wrap and tissue paper because I don't want the buyer to break the item trying to get packing tape off of it. Okay, so there's the tissue paper. Now you have many choices when it comes, or a few choices, I guess, when it comes to bubble wrap. You can use big bubble wrap or the smaller bubble wrap. I use both. I've never really had a problem with either. I am a little stingy with my bigger one because it is more expensive. So on smaller items, I tend to use the smaller bubble wrap. Now, I did just remember that this does have a cavity in it. See that? And I do usually like to fill the cavities with bubble wrap. So I have a piece of extra bubble wrap right here. Or you can use paper, tissue paper, whatever. I just like to fill that with something. Not drop the item, that would be bad. So let me do that real quick. So I am going to use the little one. And I measure like on the bubble wrap and I see like, okay, can I fold it in half? I do like to fold bubble wrap in half if I can. If I can't, I'll fold it, you know, a little bit. Give it a little bit extra padding. Like that. Actually, this one will be, if I do it just one way, I can fold these over and basically double pad it. So again, clear tape. I get my clear tape at the Dollar Tree. I think you get 6 for $1. It is really not good for anything other than bubble wrap and tissue paper. It doesn't hold anything together. And if you want to wrap a little bit more, which I can feel it's kind of thin around it, I will take another sheet, fold it in half, and just wrap it around the middle of it. Don't be afraid to use a good bit of bubble wrap. So there's your item. Now, for ceramics and stuff that, especially vintage ceramics and paper goods and things that can get wet and maybe deteriorate a little bit, or if they have crazing, or, you know, just things that I want to protect a little bit better, I do put them in a plastic bag. You can use any kind of plastic bag you can buy at the store. I usually use the bagel bags. For bigger items, I do like you can get a pack of 3 storage bags at the Dollar Tree, and these are like pretty good size items or bags for $1, and I think it's 3 or 5. And you can get those in like the clothing, like the hanger section, laundry bag section. Also, if you have a really, really big item and you go to the bins, or if you just need something in a pinch, some Dollar Trees carry those vacuum seal bags, which work really good too. And sometimes I pick them up at the bins because they weigh nothing, and then I just cut them down to fit. So I do put a suffocation label. I used to buy these. I just put them on my Dymo now. And, yeah. So, and you don't have to do that. I just do that because that's what I do. So let's get to packing material. There's many different types of packing material. You can use peanuts. You can use tissue paper. You can use air packs, which I don't have any over here right now. I usually don't use air pack with Breakable. You can use paper. This is actually my favorite thing to pack Breakables in. So I like to do a mixture of both the peanuts, if I have peanuts, and paper. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put some peanuts in the bottom because it makes it lighter. If you don't have peanuts, you put tissue paper in the bottom. Okay. And then I'm going to cover that with some paper. Now, there is one downfall for paper. It does like to settle. So you kind of want to overstuff it just a little bit. I pre-package, so it doesn't really matter because I open the package to check the item before I ship it. So it doesn't really matter too much to me if it settles. Okay, so when I put the item in there, I like to have a lot of, I put too much peanuts in, I can just tell. In the bottom. When I put the item in, I like to use paper for around the edges because it can get into the smaller edges a little bit better. And once you do this a few times, it goes really fast. Like, slower now because I'm showing you how to do it and explaining it. So paper is messy. So what I like to do on bigger items, if I'm using paper, which I usually try to not use a lot of paper on bigger items because it does get heavy, is I'll put it in one of those bagel bags. I'll show you what I do on smaller items to help cut down on the paper mess. Okay, so once I have my paper like really around the item, I like to cover the top with just peanuts. That way they can just move the peanuts off, pull the item out, and not get paper literally everywhere unless they dump the whole thing, which they might, but or, you know, put tissue paper on top and they can grab the item easier. I'm not a huge fan of packing peanuts because they do squish down quite a bit. So I kind of manually like place them a little bit around the edges and then I fill in the rest. And I just slightly overfill it a little bit. Take away a few. Okay. So the test to make sure it doesn't break is the shake test. Nothing is moving around in there. Now, if I weighed this and it weighed over a pound, I would redo my, you know, I might cut down the box a little bit. I wasn't actually weigh this. So you guys are on my scale. So we're just going to lift up real quick. Because it does feel heavy. Some of these figurines weigh a little bit over a pound though. So if it's barely over a pound. So I would probably cut down the box a little bit to make it less than a pound. At time of shipping. Or cut some of the flaps down because it was like 0.3 over. So to make it, you know, 16 ounces first class. So, and plus I like doing breakable figurines first class anyways. Because less heavier stuff goes first class, right? So that's how I package breakables. Like I said, it's just, you know, you can use multiple different things. I don't really like using the pillows on super breakable stuff because sometimes they can deflate during shipping. And this is just how I do it. So I hope it was helpful for you. And if you have any questions, just let me know down in the comments. If you like this video, hit the thumbs up. Make sure you subscribe and hit the bell notifications so you can catch me going live, my What the Heck Wednesdays, or my new videos I put out. And I think that's all. So thank you guys for watching. Bye.